Hello everybody, welcome to part 3. I apologize for being late on Wednesday and Friday, and I will explain as to why right now I'm breaking the formula a bit and uploading on Saturday. But to explain what happened, on Wednesday I was very busy with work, and I was so tired after that when I came back, I looked at DaVinci and I'm like, I can't be bothered. I wanna break, man. So I left tomorrow. So I left it up to tomorrow. But then for tomorrow, I was doing the editing and working, but then I ran into an issue of writer's block. And I was kept thinking, oh fuck, what do I say here? How do I make this interesting? And this is probably like the 20th or 30th or 50th time I'm redoing this recording, which is probably not very good on like one part. So yeah, which is why I am releasing it here now, because I'm like, I delayed this enough, I need to put it out there right now. I was pretty much thinking of what to say, but I wasn't having enough points to bring up, and looking back on it, thinking on it, I'm thinking that maybe I was bringing up too many random points that kind of had no relevance, and probably even just talking a bit too much in general. In which case, I'm going to take a bit more of a laid-back stance now and talk a bit more necessarily, which, does you good, because I'm not always irritating you and distracting you from what's in front. But also, giving my throat a bit of a break as well. My throat is kind of sore now from all this trying and recording again. Some bad news though, I have to say. I tried to squish things down as much as I could on today's video, because I believe there'd be 3 parts to this. But then after looking it back and trying to squish it down as much as I can, I then come to the conclusion that, okay, there's just gonna be a 4th part. So, my apologies on that. Either way, we finished exploring the rest of the sewers, except for one area behind the last boss. And now we're finishing the rest of Leyndell, which hopefully on Monday, that will be where it ends. These enemies with hoods and crossbows and or S-Tox or rapiers are scary. They're called pages, but they're pretty scary. They're pretty scary. That crossbow, when I first entered Leyndell, I got shot by the full barrage and died instantly. And they also have a lot of poise, as you could see there. That guy was like doing a weird shuffling around to my side, and I hit him with an R2 and he did not flinch there at all. Pretty weird, considering they're supposed to be nimble characters. You think that normally when you think of nimble, you think of nimble, but also frail as well. Which is probably not an accurate stereotype, but it's a one you kind of associate with games. that dog was acting a bit weird. It was kind of looked like to me like it was trying to like it was aggroed onto something, like supposed to check something, but it got stuck, or its pathing couldn't find it, or maybe that's just how it patrols. I don't know. Don't think I come to that spot that much. Another thing I was actually wondering while looking at this is that I wonder where the hell did all this ash come from? Because there's a lot of it, and it can't be just. I was once thinking maybe it came from the big dragon corpse that's sitting around here, because there's so much of it. But there's a lot of it in the other areas of Leyndell. There's plenty of it too. Although I will say it's kind of funny that no one cleans this up. I guess Leyndell's janitors don't get paid enough, because there's literally just all this ash and then the giant dragon corpse just sitting on one of the walls, just laying there. Oh, here's a very interesting item. The Gravelstone seat. You know, interesting as in I have a thing I'm pretty sure I didn't know about. It could be just simply I didn't use it because of my because I didn't see a practical use for it, but we'll see it once we read it. And this is kind of another regret of mine, other than the not testing enough Ashes of War, which was not paying attention fully to descriptions, to the item descriptions. Sacred Seal, made from Gravelstone, thought to be an ancient dragon scale. Enhances dragon cult incantations of the royal capital. The worship of the ancient dragons does not conflict with belief in the Earth Tree. After all, this seal and lightning itself are both imbued with gold. So, if you were paying attention to there, you would have caught the words enhances dragon cult incantations, which is stuff like the spear, the spear, the lightning spear, honed bolt, and the lightning blade and the lightning weapon buff, and also the frozen lightning counts as dragon cult. And a thing about those seals is that those seals, essentially what they do is that they have a passive buff on them that buffs those specific schools. And you can actually still benefit from them even if you're not casting them. So say for example I use the one I have, which is the Golden Order seal, the upside down triangle one, and cast a dragon cult incantation. It will still benefit from me having a Gravelstone seal in the other hand. And you can actually stack them. I've seen people dual wield in both hands of them. It's still not better. It's still better to cast with the Sacred Seal for me, just because Sacred Seal has A scalings from both Intelligence and Faith, and so no seal can beat it for me. But they still have their uses. And this is the Albrecht set. Albrecht actually invades you in the round table. Mad Tongue Albrecht's pointed hat, a sign of a heretical practitioner. Set with red glintstone, said to be armed by the blood of sacrifices, strengthens foreign sorcery. Albrecht was an aloof yet disturbed heretical sorcerer, said to have been driven mad by tongues during his service at the Round Table Hold. Sorry there. I'm reading so fast while bringing up other points and trying to read that as much. And there I am trying a fashion because this cape looks a bit tall. I don't stick with it for long, and dear God did I stay with the clean rot set for the longest. But yeah, there are actually a lot of items that boost something, and Albrecht's boost foreign sorceries. I think foreign sorceries are classed as one of the worst sorceries though, so not many uses them. Not many people use them. I don't know why. I don't know why specifically. I do know they cost health though, other than FP to cast. So maybe that's why. We also got a painting. I never went and got this painting. I probably just completely forgot about it. Which I think I did because I had to go back and get it what it was on New Game Plus. They also, I think the item description is the same of them. It's just simply it's just simply the name that's different, but the item description is always the same. The two-finger prayer book, and if we read it, or it takes me a while to find it, I would always have difficulty finding it in the inventory. Prayer book containing incantations with 2 fingers. An item once entrusted to a tarnished worthy of a lordship. Can be given to a learned cleric to access the following spells, and I didn't get to read it fast enough. I probably just read it like quietly. I had a habit of that. I think I can't remember. It actually annoys me quite a bit. It's like Corinth, which is the blindfolded dude who teaches you incantations in the Round Table Hold. I find him later on because he eventually leaves the Round Table Hold, but for like majority of the books and like only one of them, he just says, for only one of them, he doesn't say the line, "That is a work of heresy," and I'm like, oh my fucking god, are you disinteresting? Probably why I forgot his name. I just going like, do you seriously have something else to say? Oh my god. They're also weirdly in the royal capital 2 abductor virgins. That's actually what they're called. I didn't know about that. I just thought I don't know if I call them that. They're just homicidal Iron Maidens in the years. And this fight would have been easier actually, because I didn't notice at the time, but these enemies, if you quick tip for them, if you really hate them, lightning. They are very weak to lightning, and I even checked this on Fextra Life. They have like a minus 20% and weakness to lightning, so could have really helped me switching here for a lightning spear. Although I gotta say, I wonder why the hell are they here? Aren't these like aren't these Rykard? Aren't these like creations of Rykard or whatever? You know, are they like aligned with the Volcano Manor? Why are there 2 here? Then again, there was that one lone one in Ray of Lucaria as well at the bottom. And there's actually like a little underneath one of the cliff edges beneath Ray of Lucaria where there's like a bunch of them. The Stormhawk Axe. Battle axe designed to resemble a hawk, with its wings comprising the blade. Signature weapon of warriors who strive to remain one of the storm, despite being so far from this place of birth, from their place of birth. Their hearts are proud and thereby easily undone. I didn't read the weapon art there, but it's actually a very unique weapon art. And also, Nefeli Lu, the warrior late AD, who I gave the potion into, uses these actually, and she even dual wields them, I believe. So she has one in each hand. Also, I didn't bring this up just because I kind of forget it. But if you've noticed it, yep, where we were in and we picked up Albric's set, that is actually the Round Table Hold. I don't know if I noticed that. I think I did, just because I did go and fight Albric at some point early on. At least I think I did. I can't remember when I did early on. But there's also another surprise. This is also if you remember the transporting trap back in Weeping Peninsula, yeah, we're back here again. And judging by the bloodstains, there are still plenty of people early on who think they can try and cheese and get early into Leyndell. Which, I applaud the effort. You gotta applaud the effort, though. I have no idea if this chest was always here, if it spawns after, or if I just missed it. I'm betting that I just missed it, and even... I probably just missed it considering what it is, the Blessed Dew Talisman. And, while redoing all the recordings, by the way, I've redone like several recordings of this one. I completely forgot about it, because I just remembered I picked up the Erdtree's favor. It is said that when the Age of the Erdtree began, such blessings were personally bestowed upon the recipients by Queen Marika herself. So I read the Erdtree's favor, and then forgot to read the Blessed Dew Talisman completely. But if you want to know what its effect is, it's it just slowly restores HP over time. Which I believe you can stack it with that one shield you find in the Altus Plateau. Of which I'm not sure if it's I'm not sure if you can like grab both 2 copies of that shield and then the Blessed Dew Talisman and the effects stack. But I'm guessing that since people used the for example dual wield 2 of the same none of the same talismans, seals, to boost a particular type of skull for the maximum amount of damage, it probably works the same. FromSoft could have changed it though. There's a lot of... Elden Ring has had a lot of changes actually over the course of the patch. Also, I left this in just because of how amusing I found it. Yeah. Nope. Always kind of... always so, yeah. Just no. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that today. I'll take the quick way, which is just to walk back. Technically, it's my own fault, because I rested at the Grace back there, and I should have done that. There's also an item I missed over there, or I only noticed it just because I'm standing over here. But I went to go and get it and just doing some short parkour. I also completely skipped over going to the upper region of the Round Table Hold. If you remember the little wooden shack just buried in ash completely on the other side, you just jump onto that, and to do some climbing, and you can actually enter the upper part of the Round Table Hold. But I didn't do it this part. I think I did it in the next part for sure. Or I forgot about it, which was definitely a thing I tended to do quite often in this playthrough. Looking like I was considering going there, but ultimately decided to follow the routes actually. Which is, I typically kind of prefer the route of, when in terms of exploration, I tend to prefer, it's like, I always try to find like, okay, what's the side areas first, because I want to see everything, or as much as I can. Despite this place being high up though, while I was actually watching this, it made me rethink to, the original Dark Souls. There was a particular two tricky parts actually, were very precarious platforming, so to say. It's more so just simply trying to avoid falling off of these very thin railings. I can do it just fine though. It's no longer as hard. I've done it so many times. It's actually easy. Although what made it difficult, actually, the one time I remember most, I don't remember how my first one went. Probably most likely poorly, as most things do. But when the Nintendo Switch came out and Dark Souls Remastered also came out and was actually on the Switch, if you've owned a Switch, you may remember the particularly infamous issue that I think a lot of people a lot of people may have had it on the Switch, was the drift issue, which was the one where the left stick, which was used for movement, acted on its own. And yes, I had that on my playthrough of Dark Souls on my brother's Switch, and oh god, did that feel miserable? That felt miserable to go through. Funny thing about it, actually, a lot of these enemies are actually kind of passive. I think only a couple of them attack you. I, however, took no chances and killed pretty much all of them. Although I think I could have just snuck past them without them knowing. Also, ragdolls are like the best thing ever introduced in the Souls game, or just in games in general. And I really wish more games had them just because of how funny they are. Oh, now we're coming up to... I have a funny story to tell you about this. It was actually involving my brother on his playthrough of Elden Ring, but I'll let you know when I get to here. But it's gonna be so amusing. Suspiciously boss-looking room, and there's a lot of bloodstains in front of me. Yeah, and of course, I suspected it's like, this is definitely a boss fight. No way in hell this isn't. Although, the boss is a surprise. Godfrey, first Elden Lord, the lower golden shade of him. And of course, I try to give him Scarlet Rot, which... I've heard that apparently Scarlet Rot can actually affect enemies you never thought it would. Although when I read the Abductor Virgin, it does say that they're immune to it. But so I don't know if this affects it, but I mentioned a funny story actually for this. So I was watching, sometimes I go and sit and watch my brother do his stuff, or play his games, typically to play his games. And I was watching him play an Elden Ring in Leyndell. And when he got to here, he had very little flasks because he used a bunch of them. And he even actually ran out of flasks here. So when he got here, I kind of felt warning him, but I decided not to. You know, I respected avoiding spoilers. But he had like 3 flasks when he came here, and he ran out. And he even got to knock down to like 10 points of health. And he just decided, well, it's time to play perfectly. And he just decided to just hold block on his shield over time and just poke with a pike. And for like a good minute or two, he just spent nothing but spamming the attack button. No health, no flasks, just blocking all the way through. No. And he finished the boss first try when it looked like he should have died. And that, I thought that was so hilarious. Oh. Well, anyway, that's the 3rd part finally. I'll see you on the 4th one.